Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Partner Connect by Advisorkhoj. Today in Partner Connect, we have Mr. Ajay Sehgal from Allegiance Financial. Welcome, Ajay, to Partner Connect.
Thank you, Suren. Thank you so much.
Our
Thanks for
pleasure, our pleasure, our pleasure. So, before we jump into the various questions which I have for you, uh, you have worked with some of the reputed wealth management companies, right?
right.
And a great career graph. What led you to leave that cushy jobs as a wealth manager and start Allegiance Financial yourself and become a mutual fund distributor?
Right. Suren, just to give you a quick background, I started my career in 2005.
Uh-huh.
जब मैंने अपना करियर शुरू किया, आई एसोसिएटेड विद कोटक वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट जिनको रिसेंटली ही बैंकिंग लाइसेंस मिला था एंड दे वर स्टार्टिंग देयर वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट नाम उस टाइम पे यू नो दैट वी वर इन द वेरी इनिशियल स्टेजेस ऑफ investment banking and all those things. So I got a good exposure while working with Kotak Wealth. Technically, we were the part of the initial team which Kotak Wealth hired. And uh, you will be surprised that I have never been into the distribution side or the sales side before starting the Allegiance Financial. I
Hmm.
was always on the operation side. मेरा सर्विस साइड को ज्यादा देखा था. कोटक वेल्थ में 5 साल काम किया एंड वंस यू वर्क विद अ लार्ज कंपनी और अ बैंक लाइक कोटक तो आपको एक्सपोजर मिलता है अक्रॉस ऑल प्रोडक्ट्स.
बिल्कुल.
Be it a mutual fund, portfolio management services, alternates, commodities, direct trading. We got an exposure of all the products. After working for Kotak Wealth, I shifted to a company called Sanlam, which was a
Hmm.
joint venture with SMC in India. I worked there for 18, 24 months, and after that, I got an opportunity to work with a Fortune 250 company in India, which is Ameriprise Financial. I joined that team as a head of operations, products, and technology, and I worked there for almost 4 years. But during that phase, जो एक गैप नजर आता था वो यही नजर आता था दैट जितना भी रिलेशनशिप हमारे सेल्स एडवाइजर्स या वेल्थ मैनेजर जिसे हम कहते हैं या रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर जिन्हें हम कहते हैं वो सिर्फ एक ट्रांजेक्शन बेस होता था एक टारगेट बेस होता था कि दिस इज
पुश
व्हाट
करो,
योर
पुश करो,
टारगेट्स आर
पुश करो.
पुश करो. और
हाँ.
हमें मुझे बीइंग अ पर्सन ऑन द ऑपरेशन साइड एंड द सर्विस साइड मुझे हमेशा लगता था दैट वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट कांट बी अ ट्रांजेक्शन बेस्ड बिजनेस. वो ऐसा नहीं कर सकते कि आपने एक ट्रांजेक्शन किया एंड आपने एक उसका वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट कर दिया. इट नीड्स टू बी अ
जी.
रिलेशनशिप ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम विच गेट्स ग्रूम्ड एंड हर क्लाइंट को हर चीज चाहिए होता है. हर इन्वेस्टर को म्यूचुअल फंड भी चाहिए, इंश्योरेंस भी चाहिए, सब कुछ चाहिए बट एट अ राइट टाइम, नॉट एज अ प्रोडक्ट विच नीड्स टू बी पुश्ड
करेक्ट,
फॉरवर्ड.
करेक्ट.
सो वो जर्नी को देखते हुए मुझे ये तो समझ आ रहा था दैट ये गैप तो है जहां पर एक रिलेशनशिप बेस्ड बिजनेस बनाने की अपॉर्चुनिटी है.
हम्म.
Then in 2015, along with my few colleagues, we decided to form Allegiance Financial. तो वहां से एलिजेंस फाइनेंशियल का शुरुआत हुआ. शुरू में ऑफ कोर्स देयर वर चैलेंजेस सिंस आई वाज नॉट फ्रॉम द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन और सेल्स बैकग्राउंड. तो सबसे पहला चैलेंज तो यही था कि रिलेशनशिप कहाँ से शुरू किया जाए. बट एट दैट टाइम मेरे कुछ फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली हु पिल्ड इन विद मी, दे स्टार्टेड देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट विद अस एंड वी स्टार्टेड गेटिंग रेफरल्स ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम.
हम्म.
यू विल बी सरप्राइज दैट हम लोगों ने 10 साल में वी हैव नॉट स्पेंड टू मच ऑफ अमाउंट ऑन द मार्केटिंग साइड. कुछ टाइम में हम लोगों ने मेटा गूगल में पैसा स्पेंड किया था मार्केटिंग में. दैट हैज नॉट रिजल्टेड इनटू अ मीनिंगफुल लीड. हम लोगों को फाइनली यही कंक्लूड किया गया दैट इफ यू डू अ गिव अ गुड सर्विसेज टू द क्लाइंट्स, their referrals are going to be a big game changer for you.
हम्म.
And
हम्म.
that's how we built the Allianz Financial last 10 years.
एक्सेलेंट, एक्सेलेंट. बट एक बात बताइए, हर 30 तारीख 31 तारीख की महीने में सैलरी आ जाना अकाउंट में, एंड सडनली नो मनी कमिंग लाइक दिस, करेक्ट?
Yeah.
तो डिसीजन बहुत डिफिकल्ट रहा होगा ना?
ये डिसीजन बहुत डिफिकल्ट था बट
हाँ.
फॉर्चुनेटली माय वाइफ हैज आल्सो always supported me in all these
हाँ.
decisions. She was working at that time. I met her in Kotak only. So
हाँ.
she continued working for Kotak for another 3-4 years before joining Allegiance Financial as a full time. And of course, once you take a call, Suren, you always plan to, because you also have to have a financial plan in place before you take any such decisions. So I ensure that I have a 18 months, 24 months of a runway with me
हम्म.
before any kind of a pressure comes back to me to have a cash flow requirements at a home. Fortunately, we did the right things at the beginning. And my wife continued the job and वो cash flow issues कभी नहीं आया. And
करेक्ट.
probably that has always helped us in creating a meaningful relationship with the client rather than the transaction based
राइट. कभी
finance.
कभी मन में ऐसा ख्याल नहीं आया अजय कि कहाँ चला गया यार, let me just leave everything and go back to my job world.
No, if you start making the changes in the life of the clients, the kind of relationship we have built, and the way we have shared up their goals, and when you start seeing people achieving their goals with your recommendation and the way you have structured their investments, you will feel that you are adding some value to the client's life.
Absolutely.
And if you are doing the right things, money will automatically follow.
Correct.
When we started the business, Suren, most of the mutual fund company used to give the upfront incentive,
हाँ,
upfront
उस वक्त
commission.
हुआ करता था, that's right.
Correct. But when we formed the company, we proactively reached out to to the mutual fund companies and told them that we want only the all trail model.
Hmm.
We do not want any kind of upfront incentive, so
Hmm.
that we will work hard and our skin will always in the game.
Hmm.
So once you move to a trailing model, then you will always ensure that clients' portfolios are growing well, all the schemes are performing well, client is happy, because if the client's portfolio is growing by 12%, 13%, 14%, your income is also growing in the same level. So
Absolutely.
right from the beginning, we have always kept our skin in the game to ensure that we are fair to the clients.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. What a journey. 10 years. Now actually entered the 11th year now.
Yes, we are in the 11th year now.
सो जब भी हम म्यूचुअल फंड्स की बात करते हैं तो कितना प्रोपोर्शन एक क्लाइंट के पोर्टफोलियो एलोकेशन में आप म्यूचुअल फंड्स को देते हैं, एंड एनी काइंड ऑफ रिस्क प्रोफाइलिंग विच यू डू फॉर योर क्लाइंट्स एक्सेट्रा?
Suren, if you look at the way mutual fund industry has evolved over a period of time, most of the mutual fund companies are offering the products which can technically take care of all the client needs.
Hmm.
Whether you want to be on the completely safer side, we can
Hmm.
have a debt and a bond kind of a structure. If a client wants to have aggressive calls, then we have a pure equity kind of structures
Hmm.
also. So if you ask me whether mutual fund can take care of all the client requirements, yes, mutual fund can itself. It's a full-fledged, diversified investment instrument which can take care of all the investment needs. Simultaneously, since mutual fund industry is evolving over time, the operational efficiency is also coming into the picture now,
Absolutely.
right? So the large scale capital which mutual fund companies are managing with the liquidity and with the low cost, that kind of a product is not that kind of a probably a return and no other product can generate over a period of
Hmm.
time.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Then the built-in diversification. No mutual fund company can have an exposure of certain percentage in particular scheme. So the part is also taken care at a mutual fund level itself. The important product, the important probably what we can say, the feature which we have identified in the mutual fund is the deferral of taxation.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So if you pick up a portfolio management services or an alternate category, the taxation hits you on a yearly basis,
Hmm.
right? But in the mutual funds, the tax is getting deferred till the time you withdraw the funds. So in the portfolio management side, you might see a return of 14%, 15%, which is generating, but people do not or investor do not factor into account the tax which they are outflowing or which they are paying on an annual basis.
Hmm.
So I think that's a main criteria of evaluating the mutual fund versus the other products. We are not saying the other products are not good, but yes, if you consider my opinion, mutual fund can take care of the entire requirements.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So in our case, uh, our total portfolio of around 350 crores now, and we are having close to 93-94% of our portfolio through mutual funds only.
Hmm. Excellent. Excellent. Almost 93, 94%.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. And any kind of risk profiling process you are
Yes,
following?
so we follow a standard risk profiling procedure before we onboard a client. And what we have observed, Suren, is that clients do have two kinds of risk. One is the behavioral risk, the actual risk, which we call it, and then the psychological risk.
Right.
Clients look at the different portals like Value Research or a Money Control, say, I want to invest in this. Without understanding the risk in the particular category of a mutual fund scheme. But over a period of time, when you start building a relationship with the client, you get to know actual risk of the client. We have observed that at the time of investment, client will say, okay, I am very comfortable taking a risk. I want to have a 20-24% kind of a return. But whenever there is a correction in the market, client will call up and say, this is not working well. I'm not comfortable looking at the portfolio in red.
Uh,
So we have identified that even if a client says that I can take a risk, we still start with a moderate risk kind of a risk profile. Over a period of time, we judge the actual behavior, whether client can actually, how client behaves when there is a correction in the market, when there is an upside in the market. Basis that over a period of time, we tweak the portfolios and start recommending or start probably advising the clients in a right way.
श्योर 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 एक्सीलेंट एक्सीलेंट तो जब आप किसी क्लाइंट को म्यूचुअल फंड का स्कीम रेकमेंड कर रहे हैं तो आर यू यूटिलाइजिंग एनी रिसर्च टूल्स बिफोर यू आर कमिंग टू योर एनालिसिस कि हाँ भाई इस क्लाइंट के इस रिस्क प्रोफाइल के हिसाब से दी स्कीम्स आर लुकिंग गुड टू बी सजेस्टेड.
So, Suren, we have a internal due diligence process of
ओके.
evaluating all the schemes which are there in the market.
राइट.
And we do that activity every 6 months. That okay, these are the schemes on these parameters. There are several parameters on which we evaluate the scheme. It's a fund size, who is managing the fund, the aging of the fund, what are the different ratios we manage, and basis that we come out with a portfolio on each category, on a large cap, small cap, mid cap. Okay, these are the 5 or 10 schemes which we are telling the client or offering to the client that these are the good scheme where they can consider investing.
श्योर.
So we do that activity. We do this activity every 6 months, every half yearly. But
अच्छा.
along with that, we do have our licenses. We have taken licenses for value research and a funding control so that we can take the inputs from these portals to do
श्योर
our internal due diligence.
श्योर श्योर श्योर.
But from a risk perspective, we have a standard set of questions which we share with the clients.
हम्म.
And I personally go to the client and meet them to understand their actual risk so
हम्म.
that there is no disconnect after 18 months, after 24 months. Okay, this is why the portfolio is not performing well, or why these things are not working well.
वेरी
So
ट्रू.
if you do a right thing at the beginning, you set up the right expectations at the beginning, then there is never a disconnect between you and the investor.
Absolutely. Then there's no confusion. आपने eliminate
There's
कर
no
दिया पूरी
confusion.
confusion.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we never tell the client, okay, if you invest this, you will get this. Our focus is always on generating or building a discipline in the client that we have to manage the client's behavior and the discipline in making the investment. What
Sure.
challenges we have seen is, Soren, is that most of the clients probably start investing when the markets are high and stop when the markets are low. So this is where we do the hand holding, that when the markets are high, you don't need to get excited and start making additional investments. Or
Yes.
when the markets are low, there is no need to panic that you start withdrawing the funds or
Yes.
discontinue your standard SIPs.
True. Very true.
So
Very true.
our job is basically to manage the behavior. We all understand that once you are a long-term investor, you will generate the return certainly in the India market.
Absolutely.
But you need to be having the soldiers. We call mutual fund units as soldiers. You need to have the army of soldiers with you when market outperforms, so that you will
Yes.
get the
Yes.
benefit out of it.
Yes. Because in great markets, when the markets are going one side, then
Right.
you are, uh, compounding returns. Correct?
Correct.
You're accumulating returns.
Right.
And in the bear markets, you're actually compounding units, you're accumulating
Units.
units.
Correct.
So both the
Absolutely.
markets
Right.
are actually favorable. All you need to have is the behavioral aspect in line and controlled, which is
Correct.
patience.
Correct. Correct. And we do give one more example to our clients that though it's look like a very fancy example, we give it to the client that if you invest 5 lakh rupees, just 5 lakh rupee for a 60-year period, when the day the baby is born, and you a parent can give a 5 lakh rupee gift to his
Hmm.
son or a daughter, that 5 lakh can convert into a 200 crore corpus by the time that baby turns 60. It's nothing. It's not the amount which a client is investing, it's the time which they are going to spend
Yes,
in the market is going to play a very important role in
very
creating the
true,
wealth.
very true, very true. अजय आपका टीम कितना बड़ा है and do you have presence only in Delhi or you have outside as
No,
well?
we have a very small team of 12 people. As of
Okay.
now, we have a presence in Delhi and Pune,
अच्छा.
through which we are catering all the clients.
Right.
We have clients all over India. We follow a completely online process of onboarding the clients and using the platform of National Stock Exchange
Hmm.
to execute the transaction. So, physical presence technically is not required in our business. Most of the clients are very comfortable after COVID to have the interaction over Zoom calls or a video calls. And that's the way we have been building our business now.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah.
And uh, what do you do in your free time? and
So I
and sorry, ये मैं परसों सवाल पूछने वाला हूँ. Where do
no
you
no
invest your own money?
very interesting question. I have twins, two boys.
अच्छा.
So both are 12 years old now.
हाँ.
And you can understand once the boys getting into the age of teens, they have ample amount of to-dos for me whenever I have my free time. So my most of my free time goes into managing their to-dos or their projects. But of course, I have a hobby of doing a gardening. So I have a good garden at my home.
Oh, brilliant.
Uh, from my investment perspective, I have my entire portfolio in mutual fund and some component in portfolio management and real estate side. But what I have experienced that the money which is there in the mutual fund give you a good peace of mind because you know that in case of any emergency, the funds can be available to you within 2 to 3 working days. So
Absolutely
the
correct.
and the kind of return which any other asset class can make, mutual fund do have the capacity to generate a similar returns.
Right.
It's just that you have to be patient and disciplined and stay invested in the market.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
How does Allegiance Financial, stay in touch with their clients on a regular basis? Is there any investor education program also you conduct and do?
So we do regular webinars with the clients. So whenever there is let's say, regulatory changes which are happening in the on the investment side, let's say SEBI comes up with the changes to the KYC guidelines or the nomination guidelines. So we conduct a webinar for our clients where clients can come down, and it's a two-way webinar typically. So they can raise their question and we try to resolve them. So this is one of the way we have a touch point with the clients. Then we have our channels also through which we keep on sending them regular communication,
Hmm.
and we do a half yearly review of clients' portfolio
Acha.
to ensure that we understand if there are any life-changing events in the client's life, or
Right.
clients have some additional requirements of change in risk or anything like that, through which we can make the modifications in the portfolio.
Sure. Sure. Uh, what do you believe of the म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री गोइंग फॉरवर्ड बिकॉज ग्रोथ तो हमने काफी देखी है
Right.
चाहे वो एसआईपी हो चाहे इक्विटी बुक हो या ओवरऑल साइज हो एक्सेट्रा बट व्हाट इज योर पर्सनल बिलीफ एज टू हाउ दी दिस इंडस्ट्री विल ग्रो फर्दर
स्टूडेंट, अगर हम लास्ट नवंबर तक का डेटा देखते हैं तो म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री इज क्लोज टू 83 लाख करोड़ इन इंडिया. And even if we do a standard compounding of 12-15%, 12-13%, we should be hitting close to 250 lakh crore by 2035. It's a big number. It's
इट्स अ
not a
बिग
small number from any.
नंबर.
But and what is actually fueling this growth? Of course, there is a financialization of savings now. People and have started getting to know the advantages of investing into the share market. Then the SIP culture, which we are calling, is building up very well in India. People understand that they should not be waiting for some lump sum amount to come in the form of bonuses or any other windfall gains to start investing in the market. They are having a regular cash inflow in the form of salaries, which they are transferring to the market in the SIP way.
राइट.
Then the demographic dividend is also paying us very well. Lot of kids are getting into a employment sector now. Their cash flows are generating, and they are much more aware than the previous generation and to make the investments in the market, right? And the additional thing which is playing very well is the digital penetration. Earlier, everything was through a physical work, so people were not very comfortable. A distributor sitting in Delhi NCR never be able to provide the services to a person who is sitting in a different location or probably a Meerut or a tier 2, tier 3 cities. But with the help of the digital penetration, a person sitting anywhere in India can help the client make the investments in mutual fund markets.
Sure,
That is
absolutely.
also coming up with a big challenge. What we have observed, so in the Gen Z, which is currently जो नई जनरेशन है आज के बाद में जिसको हम Gen Z कहते हैं, they are not very keen on savings. They are more consumption driven individuals. And if you look at the recent data of financial companies, almost 70% of iPhones in India is getting sold on the credit cards. Right. And the buy now, pay later kind of a concept. So that is probably one thing which is great, which probably might have a challenge in future where the new generation, the Gen Zs, are not saving good enough money to take care of their retirements or the long-term
Hmm,
goals.
hmm, hmm,
I
hmm.
think that can be taken care if we have the financial educations right at the school level,
Hmm.
which is where India is currently lacking. जहाँ पर फाइनेंशियल अंडरस्टैंडिंग का मतलब होता है मेरे डैड विल लुक इनटू माय इन्वेस्टमेंट, मेरा फ्रेंड मुझे बता देगा कि दिस इज वेयर यू शुड इन्वेस्ट, बट इट इज नो फॉर्मल एजुकेशन प्लान इन प्लेस जहाँ पे CBSE or ICSE will come into picture and say, okay, this is what needs to be done at a elementary level, so that once a person is out in the market, they should know that, okay, these are the things which we have to do right at the beginning.
Yes. No, आप बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं, particularly on this education part. And sometimes मुझे ऐसा क्या लगता है कि it's not that everything has to be driven top down by the government.
Right,
कि, that has to be told, कि आप ऐसा करिए. Sometimes, schools can themselves take voluntary guest lectures
right,
and start teaching their students
right,
about the महत्व of investments.
right.
But I do not know, I don't have the data, so I would say that I don't think that's happening at all.
अभी CBSE ने रिसेंटली इसे करिकुलम में इंक्लूड किया है,
अच्छा.
द बेसिक फाइनेंशियल एजुकेशन को,
हाँ,
बट
हाँ.
स्टिल इट्स अ लॉन्ग वे टू गो.
It's a long way to go.
इट्स अ लॉन्ग वे टू गो, जहाँ पर लोगों को यही समझाना पड़ता है कि हाउ कंपाउंडिंग वर्क्स,
Hmm.
म्यूचुअल फंड क्या है. एंड हमारे लिए सरप्राइजिंग तब होता है सुरेन, व्हेन यू डू अ KYC ऑफ अ 45 years old guy. तो आप ये
Hmm.
समझ सकते हैं दैट ही द पर्सन हैज ऑलरेडी स्पेंट 60% ऑफ हिज लाइफ एंड उसने अभी तक इन्वेस्टमेंट भी नहीं किया है.
इतना समय ऑलरेडी वेस्ट हो गया है
वेस्ट हो गया
कंपाउंडिंग
उसकी.
में.
KYC अगर आप कर रहे हैं 45 years की,
कंपाउंडिंग
तो
का.
आप ये समझ सकते हैं कि कितना अवेयरनेस है अभी भी मार्केट में.
बिकॉज इसमें सारा कुछ है ही कंपाउंडर रिलेटेड.
यस,
इट
यस,
सो
यस.
मच एब्सोल्युटली.
या,
Ajay, through this partner connect,
या.
a lot of viewers are listening to you and will be watching this video. What message would you like to give to investors, particularly for their long-term asset allocation?
सो फ्रेंड, मेरा सबको यही सजेशन रहता है दैट डू नॉट गो ऑन व्हाट यू आर सीइंग ऑन द इंस्टाग्राम और इन द सोशल मीडिया. आप सोशल मीडिया की नॉइजेस को सबको प्लीज इग्नोर कीजिए. जस्ट फोकस ऑन योर गोल्स एंड बेसिस दैट यू शुड मेक द रिकमेंड और मेक द
Hmm.
इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. आपके क्या गोल्स हैं, आपका क्या रिस्क है, उसके बेसिस पे पोर्टफोलियो डिसाइड होना चाहिए, ना कि आपके फ्रेंड ने क्या बताया है या सोशल मीडिया पे किसी ने एक पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी को प्रमोट कर दिया. दे हैव देयर ओन इंटरेस्ट इन दैट. आपके लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है आप अपने गोल्स को ठीक से डिफाइन कीजिए, आप अपने रिस्क को असेस कीजिए एंड बेसिस दैट आप इन्वेस्ट कीजिए. अगर आप डिसिप्लिन इनफ रहते हैं और आप मार्केट नॉइजेस को इग्नोर करते हैं, देयर इज अ वेरी हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट अ पर्सन विल बी एबल टू अचीव इट्स गोल. यही
Yes.
सबके लिए मंत्रा है दैट कोई शॉर्टकट्स नहीं है मार्केट में पैसा बनाने के लिए. अगर आप एडवाइजर भी ऑन बोर्ड कर देते हैं, तो उससे भी कोई शॉर्टकट नहीं क्रिएट हो जाता. एडवाइजर
No,
का मेन रोल डिसिप्लिन बिल्टअप करना होता है,
वो
आपकी
जादूगर
हैंड
थोड़ी ना
होल्डिंग. हाँ, आपकी
है.
हैंड होल्डिंग करना होता है. हम मार्केट मेकर्स नहीं होते कि
करेक्ट.
हमें, अगर हमें ही इतना मालूम होता कि मार्केट में ऐसा होता है, देन एवरीबडी वुड हैव पुट द मनी इन द गोल्ड एंड सिल्वर लास्ट इन 18 months.
एब्सोल्युटली, बिल्कुल सही,
राइट.
बिल्कुल
तो
सही.
आपके लिए डिसिप्लिन होना बहुत जरूरी है, हैंड होल्डिंग जरूरी है. जब आप टफ टाइम में जाएंगे, कोई सिचुएशन खराब होती है, देन एडवाइजर और आपका रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर जो होता है वो आपको हेल्प करता है. बट आपको अपना गोल्स को और अपने रिस्क को कंसिडर करके ही कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहिए. अगर आप उसको कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे, ऑफ कोर्स यू विल हैव अ बैड बैड एक्सपीरियंसेस.
Perfect, perfect. Well, for our viewers, this is Mr. Ajay Sehgal from Allegiance Financial. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अजय आज हमारे साथ जुड़ने के
थैंक यू
लिए.
सो मच
And
सुरेन.
our pleasure and taking us through your complete journey and your thoughts.
प्लेजर, प्लेजर सुरेन.
Really enjoyed having this conversation with you today.
प्लेजर, प्लेजर सुरेन.
And I would also like to remind our viewers that if you have not subscribed to the Advisorkhoj YouTube channel yet, please press that button. That button will help you to receive many such interesting and intellectual updates. So, thank you, Ajay. Thank you for your time.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू
Our
सुरेन, थैंक
best
यू सो
wishes.
मच.
Thank you.